What's up, guys? It's Benny. What the hell is going on in the world? Rob Reiner, the legendary Hollywood director. Yes, he was a leftist. He was also a human being, a father, a husband. He's somebody whose politics, while I didn't agree with him, deserves to not be stabbed to death in his sleep and have his throat slit, along with his wife, by allegedly his son, Nick Reiner, a kid who has been in and out of rehab, drug abuse, has been homeless for a little bit, and has obviously suffered from his own demons. According to reports, and we have very little right now, this all happened after a dispute amongst the family, and Rob Reiner and his wife had their throats cut in their sleep by their son. What the hell is happening right now? It's almost Christmas, and we have nothing but demonic news cycles. Every single place we turn, Rob Reiner obviously made The Princess Bride and a ton of other When Harry Met Sally and a bunch Spinal Tap. He's got hundreds of directorial and acting credits. And yeah, I mean, you know what you don't see on the right, even though Rob Reiner was clearly a man of the left, you don't see celebrations. See none of that. You don't see any person. I have not seen one person. And Rob Reiner is just one of those guys who was a big time ardent leftist for decades, going back to the 70s, for a full generation. He was one of just the marquee leftists. He played Meathead, a leftist, right, on All in the Family. So Rob Reiner's never given anything but grief to Republicans, yet I see not a single Republican celebrating Rob Reiner's death. How could you? Because it's evil, it's demonic, it's horrific. Anyway, this has been a massive shock to the entire entertainment industry, massive shock to the news cycle, and everyone's looking for answers. Unfortunately, they're not getting a lot of them. The LAPD won't even say who was murdered or how or by whom, which is crazy. This is being panned all across social media. The LAPD non-answers effectively when asked about these horrific murders, at total and complete incompetence here. You wonder why things have gotten so bad in LA. Watch this.
Has anyone been detained yet for questioning? Are you questioning people now that could be possible suspects and or a person or persons of interest?
Specifically to your first question, no one has been detained. Specifically to your second question, no one is being interviewed.
What were the injuries? What were the injuries? We're being told that this was a stabbing.
Yeah, so we're not going to comment on the injuries at this time. That information will be coming forward in the coming days as it's publicly releasable. If it is part of the investigation and it is not publicly releasable, we will not be releasing it.
Are your detectives inside the home?
Hold on. One at a time. Whoa. Hold on, one at a time.
Sharon was up. Go ahead.
Are your detectives inside the home right now? Or are they getting access to the home right now as we speak?
We're waiting for the legal process to move forward. We have to obtain a search warrant for the residence. As soon as that is complied with, we will be conducting a full crime scene investigation on the interior and the exterior of the residence and the surrounding neighborhood.
Just to follow up, Deputy Chief, is there somebody from the family not allowing detectives inside the home right now?
That's inconsequential. We have to comply with the legal process. It doesn't matter whether the family allows us in or not.
Detective, what are the
family members?
Hold on.
Ma'am.
Sharon.
Have the family members been notified? The victim's family members been notified?
Have the family been notified of what? That an incident occurred here?
That there were two victims?
I believe the family's aware.
In other words, why are you not releasing their names? They're out there, Chief.
That's going to be the Los Angeles County coroner that releases the information.
Chief, is this a homicide?
Ma'am, go ahead. Your question first.
Yes, is this a homicide?
At this time, it's a death investigation. Again, until we get inside and we make a determination, we can't call it anything. So we're going to conduct that Hold on. We're going to conduct that investigation at the appropriate time. We will identify what kind of incident it is, and if it's determined to be a crime, we will seek the suspect. We will bring them to justice, and we will take them into custody.
The mayor has confirmed it's the Reiners. The mayor has already confirmed it's the Reiners. Can you tell us any more?
I can't speak for the mayor, but I can speak for the Los Angeles Police Department. The Los Angeles County coroner will identify the decedents that are inside of the residence.
Detective.
And that will be, that will be the official notification and the official identification of the decedents inside of the residence.
Under what circumstances were the bodies discovered?
I'm not going to address that.
Yeah, man, I don't want to really go there, but there's a reason why I stay out of California. And there's a reason why I stay out of LA. There's a reason why I stay out of Hollywood and these areas is you can just feel the demonic energy. You can feel the evil energy in these places. And it's like allowed, you know, it's allowed. Just like the homeless camps, just like the drug abuse, just like the criminal aliens. It's just there's allowance for this level of darkness in the human soul in this area. You ever been to Hollywood? You spiritual person, you ever feel that? Yeah. You got people reaching out from all across social media, corporate media, Hollywood. Rob Schneider obviously jumping in there and saying that he loved Rob Reiner. Fox News has the latest coverage about what we know here because we've got nothing from the LAPD. Here you go.
We are back with a Fox News alert. Governor Gavin Newsom confirming that Hollywood icon, director Rob Reiner, and his wife Michelle are dead. Newsom saying, quote, Jen and I are heartbroken by the tragic loss of Rob Reiner and Michelle Singer Reiner. He made California a better place through his good works. Rob will be remembered for his remarkable filmography and for his extraordinary contribution to humanity. But the LAPD revealing little information about their investigation so far. They did confirm, though, their robbery homicide division would be overseeing the case. Former homicide detective Brian Foley joins me now. Brian, why are they being so tight-lipped at this point?
Well, as a homicide detective, you want as very little information getting out there as possible, unless you want it to get out there. And we'll talk about that with Providence, when you don't want too much information getting out there. So they're going to be very tight-lipped. This is not an active scene in that there's an active danger there. So now this becomes a highly forensic scene. And what the detectives, I can tell you, are doing right now are securing search warrants. They need a search warrant to search a victim's house. This is a stabbing, Todd. And what do I always say? Stabbing is a very intimate and emotional crime. And almost always the victim is known to the suspect. However, this is a very highly public and outspoken person. So that kind of eliminates that. But you hope two things. One, that this suspect has revealed themselves through hate messaging to the victim in the past, and his security people will know it, and that the scene becomes now the main point of evidence. This is a highly forensic scene. You're going to have maybe one of the best homicide divisions and crime scene processing in the world on that scene, processing it. When there is a stabbing, you hope that there was a struggle and that there's transferred DNA. What do I mean? The suspect's hair, the suspect's skin. You look under the victim's fingernails and you hope that there's DNA evidence there.
Why did the LAPD need a search warrant? Because when I was in law school, the one thing I remember is if there's an active crime scene and you can see that there was a stabbing in plain sight, you don't need a search warrant. Why here?
You don't need a search warrant immediately to see if there's a suspect still in the place. But once you know that the scene is safe, there's no suspects in there, you have evidence of a crime, that the crime happened there into that residence. You don't know what you're going to find there. Maybe something that'll get somebody else in trouble. So that search, why not obtain the search warrant and move forward as best you can? This is a murder investigation. You can't afford to make any mistakes. The detectives will work with the prosecutors to make sure no mistakes are made there. There's going to be video. This is a person of means that is going to have a security system on a street that is going to have security systems with people with means. So I like the solvability factors that are coming into this, that are going to come into this case. But I don't expect the detectives to be putting that information out there unless they want us, the public, to know it.
And I want to just put this out there because, well, it's something that I see in my timeline. There's a clip that is going newly viral of Rob Reiner with his son, Nick, who allegedly did these murders, talking about rehab. And people are saying, well, maybe this is, maybe this sort of tells a little bit of a story here. So here you go. Please pray for the Reiner family. Don't turn into the dark goblins that they think you are. Show that you are better. Don't become the animals. That's what they want. Don't celebrate this. This is an evil, demonic tragedy. And I don't know what this trend is with young kids hating their parents so much and turning on their parents, but that is just straight from the pits of hell. So anyway, here's Rob and his son, Nick Reiner.
It came to be what it is.
On that same point, that's an interesting point you raised. Were you ever hesitant to show your father some of those things you had written? Because there's, as much as you're pulling from other people's experiences, you're pulling from your own as well. Was there ever a moment when you thought, this is too much, I don't want him to know all this?
Well, he knew a lot about what I'd went through already, so I wasn't any concerned at all about what it was in there about me. But the father character initially was harsh on him, and I believe it or not, was not wanting the character to be that villainous. And it was hard for him for a while to think that I thought of him that way, and to convince him that that's not how I felt, but that, you know, fathers do get in that mode sometimes when they're trying to help their kid who's in danger.
And it's interesting that he mentions that, because I did think that. I mean, the father originally was written as very black and white, bad guy, and I thought, oh God, that's what Nick thinks of me, and oh my God, you know, I thought that was, you know, but then he actually came about halfway through the process. He said, you know, the father should be it should be a little bit more dimensional. I mean, he's like too much of one thing. And oddly enough, I took that as to me, oh, he's feeling better about me now. So he was able to say that. But the character evolved, and I do think that over the course of making the film, that, you know, our relationship definitely